Hello and Assalamu alaikum and welcome to the fourth lecture for the Strategic Business Leader online classes for December 2018 examination. I am Kashif Kamran, your tutor. Now, till the day 3 yesterday, we focused on a lot of corporate social responsibility, and we did work upon a lot of models relating to the corporate social responsibility. We went across the Carroll model, we went across the Tucker model, then we came into the Johnson and Scholl model, then we came into the Gray, Owen and Adam model. And we explored a lot about instrumental philosophy yesterday and normative philosophy yesterday, because that was the most emphasizable lecture on this topic yesterday. And towards the end of the class, I hope all of you became clear on the instrumental thought process and the normative thought process and the Gray-Owen atom and the Johnson and Scholl, how a company can be a pristine capitalist or how a company can be a deep ecologist. So it all depends upon how much time you put on CSR and how much efforts you put on corporate social responsibility. Some of the companies do put efforts on corporate social responsibility, and some of them simply consider corporate social responsibility as a cost, and they don't think there are any benefits associated with corporate social responsibility. But on the vice versa, there are so many companies in the world. We did took example of the PepsiCo in the class yesterday. We did took example of Unilever in the class yesterday, and we even took the example of the National Foods from Pakistan. They were all demonstrating the corporate social responsibility. That means they were all normative companies. They were all concerned about the people. They were all concerned about the planet. So that means we can find both the sets of companies, right? We can find the companies who are normative, the companies which work for people and planet, and we can find companies which are instrumental, which thinks that it's a waste of time and it's a cost for the shareholder if we work on the planet and the people, because our ultimate aim is the profitability. Now, I will be continuing with the same discussion today, and the topic we have to pick today in order, because till yesterday we were on the slide number 38. Now we are starting from the slide 39, which is about sustainability. Now, sustainability has become so very important concept in the last many years since corporate social responsibility has started. Let's first explore the corporate sustainability as a concept before I give you some examples to the topic. When we speak of sustainability, a lot of time the instrumental companies are focused on financial sustainability. The instrumental companies are concerned with profitability sustainability, or the instrumental companies are concerned with sustainability of their market share, sustainability of their revenue. Yes, that's fine. Every company has to think about their financial sustainability. Every company has to think about their financial future, because sustainability means the future, right? So every company has a concern about the future, but that concern about future should not just be the concern about the profit future. It should be the concern about the people future, and it should also be concerned about the planet future. So we are not just concerned about the profitability and the future of the profitability, which is very fine. In every organization, we do make budgets. In every organization, we do make forecast. So why we make them? We make the forecast, we make the budgets for our financial sustainability. That is true, but what future are we talking about? We are talking about the future of profit. We are talking about the future of the planet, and we are also talking about the future of the people. So we are not just concerned with the financial sustainability, we are also concerned with the sustainability of the planet. We're also concerned with the sustainability of the people. So if we are an instrumental company, then we will only be concerned about the profit sustainability. But if we are a normative company, we will be concerned about the profit, the people, the planet, all three of them. So sustainability means the future. Let's try to understand it. Sustainability has been expressed as meeting the needs of the present without compromising the ability of the future generations to meet their own needs. Sustainability has been expressed as meeting the needs of the present without compromising the ability of the future generations to meet their own needs. Now see, we are living in a very unsustainable way. We are living in a very unsustainable manner. There is a deforestation. There is a greed. There is a greed for growth. There is a greed for expansions. There is a greed for becoming the economic superpowers. Now, with all such greeds that one country wants to overtake another country, one country wants to become an economic superpower over the other country, there is a deforestation, there is a global warming. We are depleting the natural resources. We are depleting the water, we are depleting the gas, we are depleting the oil, we are depleting the forest. So sustainability has been expressed as meeting the needs of the present without compromising the future generations to meet their own needs. Now we know that the World Health Organization or the United Nations puts a very bleak picture of the future. They do tell us that the water levels are going scarce. There is a scarcity of the water level, that the forest area is going down, and see the amount of disasters and typhoons and cyclones and earthquakes we are seeing each year. So the weathers are changing, the planet is changing because we have caused damage to the planet. We have destroyed the planet. We have consumed the natural resources of the planet at a much faster rate. So the future by 2030 or the future by 2040, as per the United Nations, looks very bleak, looks very pessimistic. There will be many countries in the world which will be water scarce. There will be many countries of the world which will go under the water. There will be many countries in the world where the sea level will rise and rise drastically. So the weather conditions are changing. You have seen the impact of this, the global warming. The European region is facing so severe heat waves. The European regions are facing so severe climatical changes. The American region, the Asian region, the Middle Eastern regions. So sustainability is to meet the present without compromising the future. So if we cut a tree, we should plant a tree. So that is meeting the present without compromising the future. So if you cut a tree, you should plant a tree. Sustainability. And organizations are working on sustainability, right? Organizations are working on sustainability of trees, sustainability of animals, sustainability of the planet. I'll show you examples of that. Second, to be sustainable, the nature resource must be used at a rate at which they can be replenished naturally. You should consume the natural resources. You should consume the natural resources. No one is denying that, but must only be used at a rate at which they can be replenished naturally. If we just keep consuming, we are calling ourselves into a disaster. We have to use them at a proper rate. If we are consuming them too fastly, if we are consuming them too rapidly, we are calling ourselves into disaster, and we have already called ourselves into disaster. The global warming has become realistic. All of you must be knowing global warming, right? And each country is now subjected to global warming. There is a clear scientific evidence that humanity is living in an unsustainable way by consuming the earth limited natural resources more rapidly than they are being replaced by nature. So there is a clear scientific evidence that we are living in an unsustainable way. And that is perhaps the reason that NASA has started to research life on Mars. And NASA has given a breakthrough that there are evidence of life, there are evidence of water on Mars. So I think the planet Earth has become too small for us, and living on the planet Earth has become a too small place for us because we are living in an unsustainable way. So that is the reason that NASA has done research on Mars, and they think there is a life on Mars, there is a water on Mars. You never know. You never know that the future generations might be living on Mars. You never know that the future high-rise buildings or the future skyscrapers will be made on Mars. Is that clear to everyone on the concept of sustainability? That this is just an initial discussion. I still need to go into sustainability models and sustainability theories. So which sustainability are we talking about? We're talking about sustainability of the planet and sustainability of the people. Okay, let's show you something. What companies are doing for sustainability. Let's show you something. Please carefully see this Procter and Gamble video on how they are ensuring sustainability. And you know, P&G, Procter and Gamble, is a multinational giant and is based in US. And this company has so significant impact on our daily lives. Each one of us might be a consumer of Procter and Gamble product. It makes such a big impact on our lives. Let's see what Procter & Gamble is doing for sustainability. Have a view of this, and I'll interact with you after 3 minutes.
What if we didn't think of waste as waste? What if we look at waste as something we can always reuse for another purpose? At Procter & Gamble, we're already thinking that way, and we're finding creative, innovative ways to prove it. Take paper waste. Even after recycling scraps at one of our sharpening plants in Latin America, we are left with unusable fibers. Instead of throwing these away, we thought, what if they have value? Now these fibers get turned into low-cost roof tiles to help provide homes for local families. It's the same with what's left from making shampoos like Pantene and Head & Shoulders. Instead of asking, where can we get rid of it? We asked, what can we do with it? Now, waste from one of our sites in China is converted into fertilizer for planting trees, hoping to turn old industrial land into parks and green spaces. We applied the same thought to our Always and Whisper feminine care plants in India. Today, materials that were once thrown away are recycled into plastic soles to create low-cost shoes. Right now, less than 1% of raw materials entering our plants leave as waste. We believe an innovative team and the right ideas can reduce that even further. More than 70 of our sites are already there. This means that all of the manufacturing waste at these sites is recycled, repurposed, or converted to energy. Nothing goes to landfill. But we aren't stopping there. We've changed the way we think. So now we're working every day to make all of our waste at all of our sites have a surprisingly positive impact. What if we all changed the way we think? What if waste isn't waste anymore?
Okay, so have you got an idea from this Procter & Gamble sustainability report showcasing from how this company is generating ideas, how the team is generating ideas, and how the team is making those ideas practical, reducing their waste at their manufacturing sites, ensuring that the waste gets converted in, the waste is recycled, and the recycled waste is put into making homes or into the flip-flops, etc. Have you got any message from this PNG video? Was that an interactive video which must have opened your mindset about how should we go about change? Was that an interactive video? Has it given you an insight of this multinational giant? Okay, let's take one more example and get back to the lecture. Let's take KLM. KLM is such a big part of an airline industry, right? And the KLM has always been a pioneer when it comes to sustainability. So let's see what KLM is doing for sustainability at their offices. Okay, let's see the KLM CSR report 2015. Now it's your turn to focus on for next 2 minutes.
Air France KLM works to promote sustainability, ensuring that your journey is caring, innovative, and responsible. What do we do to reduce our environmental impact? We put a lot of effort in reducing our CO2 emissions, our waste, the amount of water and energy we use, the noise of our aircraft. We act to improve air quality and encourage biodiversity. We push the market and we bring together our partners within the air transport industry to develop sustainable biofuels using feedstock that has no negative impact on biodiversity and food production. We continuously aim to reduce our weight on board and optimize our flight processes to reduce our environmental impact. We support aviation research and innovation to improve the performance of our aircraft today and in the future. We have set a goal to reduce our CO2 emissions per passenger by 20% in 2020. We share our progress with you in full transparency. Find out more about our commitments. Sustainability in
Okay, have you seen that? And are you getting any sense of how these organizations, whether it's an airline industry or it's a fast-moving consumer good companies like Procter Gamble, how are they transforming the future? How are they transforming the future for the people and the planet? See how carefully are they working with scientific teams, with experienced people, thinking about how we can cut on our waste, how we can do the recyclings, how we can reuse things, and how the normative companies, right? These are efforts which will not come through the instrumental companies. So is everyone getting a clear message by looking at the KLM and Procter & Gamble? Have you got some sense of sustainability and how companies are looking at their products and services to bring sustainability to the planet? Can I get your answers to that? Are you getting a mindset on sustainability to write in the SBL exam? Because the SBL exam is about opening your minds, right? You cannot just be in a book and pass the SBL exam. SBL exam is way beyond the textbook. SBL exam is way about the practical world. And that is the reason that you have to be shown such videos to build up your mindset. Because you can write very well in exam paper by looking at these videos. So I hope these videos must have opened your mindset. Okay, now let's go on with sustainability. There are two types of sustainabilities, weak and strong. Let's see what is a weak and strong sustainability. You just saw the KLM video and you just saw the Procter & Gamble video. Let's see how sustainability works. The weak sustainability is only about human sustainability, whereas a strong sustainability is not just about human, it is also about environment. So the weak sustainability is only focusing on the human sustainability. That means it's only focusing on the people sustainability. Whereas the stronger sustainability is focusing on the human as well as the environment. Let's take an example of weak and strong sustainability. Okay, now on the day 4 of my lectures today, Let's see what is a weak versus strong sustainability. Weak versus strong sustainability. Right, and we are on slide number 41. So from the slide number 41, let's find how to understand this. Now, for example, PepsiCo carries out a research that salt and sugar are not good for human consumption. So Pepsi decided to reduce the amount of sugar and salt in their products to give better health and nutrition to the people. So is that the human sustainability? Is that the human sustainability? They researched that salt and sugar are not good for human consumption. So they thought, okay, let's reduce the salt and let's reduce the sugar. So are they working for the human sustainability by doing so through their products? And on the vice versa, it's only human, right? So currently human means only weak. Now link it further. Further, the PepsiCo is trying to ensure that their packaging for bottles and their packaging for chips, etc., are environmental friendly, and that the packaging is 100% recyclable and can be reused later in the manufacturing process. Are they working for the planet sustainability now with their packaging of the products? So is PepsiCo working for both human? The PepsiCo is working for both human plus the planet. So that becomes what? That becomes strong sustainability. Right? Is that clear to everyone? So the Pepsi is not just concerned about the human health, the Pepsi is also concerned about that the packaging of their products after the disposal. So if I consume a packet of chips and I throw that in the garbage or dustbin, is it recyclable? And the Pepsi says yes. So is it bringing a positive impact on the environment? So this is the strong and weak sustainabilities, right? So the companies can have weaker sustainability if they only focus on human, but the companies will have a stronger sustainability if they're not just working for human, but they're also working for environment. And you've just seen that in the case of P&G, and you've just seen that in the case of KLM. Okay, environmental footprint. Now, if you know the KLM and P&G videos, this will really help you out. Environmental footprint is a measure of the impact. Footprint means impact. So environmental footprint is a measure of an impact that a particular business activity have upon environment. Have you seen the particular business activity of P&G? The P&G was saying they are having manufacturing sites in 70 locations. How big P&G is, how big KLM is, every day KLM flies from one part of the world to another part of the world. Think about the pollutions they create. Think about the emissions they create. And were not KLM telling us that they're reducing their emissions by 20% by 2020? Were not the P&G telling us that they're trying to reduce their garbage? They're trying to reduce their waste. They're trying to reuse their waste. So are these companies trying to reduce their footprint? Are these companies trying to reduce their impact they have on a particular that a particular business activity have upon the environment? So what was the business activity? The business activity was P&G. The business activity was KLM. And were they trying to reduce the environmental impact of their business activity? So if a company is not doing anything for the people and planet, like an instrumental company, do you believe the instrumental company will have a bigger footprint? Yes or no? Do you believe that the instrumental company will have a bigger environmental footprint because they're not doing anything for the planet? And Sarah, no or yes? The instrumental companies, because they're so big companies, but they're not doing anything for environment, will have a bigger impact on the environment. But if there is a normative company, the normative company which do something for environment, like P&G, like KLM. So is KLM and P&G trying to reduce their footprints through good actions? Every business have an impact on the environment, right? But who is a better business, a normative business or an instrumental business? Which business will reduce the impact? Will an instrumental business reduce an impact or a normative business reduce an impact? So will a normative business have a lesser footprint because they're doing good actions? And will an instrumental company have a bigger footprint because they're not taking any actions on the planet? Yes, exactly. Sarah, are you clear with that as well? Are you clear with the concept? Sarah, I'm trying to say that suppose Procter and Gamble is an instrumental company and they only have a greed for profit. They keep manufacturing, they keep manufacturing, they keep manufacturing, and they're not doing anything for rectifying the planet or reducing the waste, reducing the emission. So will Procter and Gamble, if they're only greedy for profit and they're not doing anything for emission, disposal, waste, are they creating a bigger impact on the planet in terms of their damages? Sarah, I'm asking you a question. Is if P&G is an instrumental company, and if P&G is an instrumental company, and they have just agreed for profit, and they're destroying the planet, they're creating emission, they're creating pollution, just because they want to manufacture, just because they want to make more and more. So are they not creating a negative impact on the environment? More. And what if P&G becomes a normative company? They are creating, they still want to earn profit, right? But have you seen the P&G video? They want to earn the profit, but they're also concerned about recycling, reducing the waste, reducing the emission. So with all those actions, is P&G trying to reduce their footprint, trying to reduce their impact on the environment? So if a company is instrumental, they're not concerned about the damage they're causing to environment, and they keep damaging it. So that was my point, that instrumental companies have a bigger footprint, bigger impact, bigger negative impact. But if it is a normative company, the normative company will be rectifying it. So automatically the impact on the environment of a normative company becomes smaller. Is that clear, Sarah Zulfikar? Okay, that's great. Okay, now just wait for 1 minute. Want to show you something. Okay, I'll just be showing you something right after completing this environmental footprint. Now, obviously, every business have an impact on environment, right? That's true. Now, one business can rectify that impact and one business cannot. So if it is an instrumental business, it will not rectify the impact on environment, and automatically the impact will become bigger. And if it is a normative business, will rectify the impact on the environment and automatically will become smaller. Examples of environmental footprints: depletion of natural resources, water consumptions, carbon emission, waste disposal. Now see, if you are an instrumental company, you will have a waste disposal, you will have a carbon emission, you will deplete the natural resources. But if you are a normative company, you will still do the same, but you will also rectify it. You will reduce your waste, you will do recyclings, you will reduce your carbon emission. You just saw the KLM, they were saying that we want to reduce the carbon emission by 20% by 2020. So can you find the difference between an instrumental company and a normative company, how they approach the footprint? So an instrumental company will do everything wrong, but the normative company will say, okay, let's also rectify it, let's also improve it. So the footprint connects with your natural resources, with your consumption of water, with your carbon emission, and with your waste disposal. And you just saw the videos, right? How the companies was doing a better form of it. So environmental footprint is concerned with a business activity, is concerned with a business activity, and the impact of the business activity, on the environment, the impact of the business activity on the environment. Now let's see something different. It was environmental footprint. Now comes ecological footprint. Ecological footprint. It compares the human demand. Now we are added to it. Environmental footprint was looking at the business, right? Environmental footprint was looking at the P&G, Unilever, KLM, Pepsi, National Food. It was the business impact. Now the ecological footprint is looking at us, the human demand. The human demand is the population. And you know how big the global population is. It is looking at the global population. It is looking at us. It compares the human demand with the earth ecological capacity to regenerate it. Now see the global demand, see the global population, and see the global population demand versus the planet earth limitations. There is an ecological system which supplies us. There is a natural resource which supplies us, and we have a demand. Using this assessment, it is possible to estimate how many earths it will take to support the humanity if everyone lives in a given lifestyle. Our lifestyles are changing, right? Our lifestyles are becoming more towards luxury. We are changing our social. There is a social paradigm. There is a social shift. More and more areas are becoming urbanized. And when more and more areas are becoming urbanized, is that increasing the human demand? Yes or no? If if more and more areas in the world are becoming urbanized, is that increasing the human demand? Yes or no? I need your answers. If there is an increase in urbanization, so do increase in urbanization increase the human demand? Yes. And do you realize that the urbanization is increasing at a very fast pace? Our lifestyles are increasing at a very fast pace. We are moving more towards luxury items. We are moving to more towards brands. We have become more of a brand conscious society, the global society. We are consuming more, we are eating more, we are consuming more. We are living in a luxurious lifestyles, and we are going more towards consumptions. So do you think that the global population and the social changes which are coming in the global population is increasing the footprint on the planet? So are we consuming a lot? Are we causing a lot of demand on the planet? Yes or no? Do you believe that? Do you believe that as a global population, we are consuming a lot, we are eating a lot, we are demanding a lot? Is that true? Is that false? Students, I'm waiting for your answer. Do you agree with that? That our lifestyles have changed, our eating habits have changed, our demands have changed, we are demanding more. Is that true? And is it really impacting the planet? Right now, let's see a video on the ecological footprint. How are we, or how me or you are damaging this planet? Yes, we have become more lazy, right? We just want to stick back in home, and the technology has increased our demands. The Facebook, the social media has increased our demands. The smartphones have increased our demands. Where it's so easy to get anything on a single click. So I think our demands have increased just because of the advent of technology, just because of the technology penetration. We have become lazy. I agree with you, Kim. And that laziness has just been because of the technological advancements. We are in a social dilemma, right? We are in a social dilemma as a world. Okay, let's see something. Okay, just 1 minute, and I'll put in front of you a video for the footprints. Okay, please see this, and I'll interact with you after 2 to 3 minutes. This is how we are changing the planet, how we are impacting the planet. See this video, and you will get some sense out of it.
Nearly every nation is committed to reducing its carbon footprint, but this is no simple undertaking. For example, let's say part of a country's plan is to restore forest land to sequester carbon. This should lead to a reduction in net carbon emissions. However, this may also reduce crop and therefore a country's ability to produce its own food. Global Footprint Network measures more than just a country's carbon footprint. Our national footprint accounts can provide a comprehensive way to better understand the links between competing demands on our planet. Our accounts help national governments understand and manage their natural resources to help them make confident policy decisions and create a prosperous, resilient future for their residents. They provide an ecological balance sheet for each country. The footprint accounts measure a country's annual demand for goods and services that its land and seas can provide. We then compare that to the resources available, which we call biocapacity. This information can be used to identify which countries are using more ecological resources and services than they have, who we call ecological debtors, and those with more resources than they're using. We call them ecological creditors. Government leaders from the United Arab Emirates, the Philippines, and Montenegro are using our data to develop and evaluate sustainability policy. And thousands of scientists and students from around the world have downloaded our data to research everything from socioeconomic indicators to land use patterns. Our footprint accounts are based on nearly 200,000 data points per country per year. Data has been compiled since 1961, allowing users to track trends over time. Most nations have seen their ecological footprints go up, so that today, the human population worldwide is using 1.6 times more natural resources and services than our planet can regenerate in a year. Carbon is the largest contributor to our ecological footprint globally. We believe that you can't manage what you can't measure. It's time to get our ecological balance sheets back in check. Download our free public data package to learn more about the national footprint accounts today.
Okay, so what's the feedback? Have you got something from this video on the ecological footprints? Have you seen how these organizations gather data on each country and the impact that each country is having on the demand for Earth? Each country. See China, see America, see the demands, see the significant demand, see the significant demand. This has become so strange that there are so many countries which believe that their own resources are lesser and they go for imports. There are so many countries where import volume has increased a lot because they think their national resources are lesser, or their national resources have been exhausted. So you cannot just compare the American or Chinese footprint with any of a smaller country. The African footprints are very less because there is a lot of area in Africa which is under poverty. There is a lot of area in Africa which is still living within their limits. But America is the growth engine. China is the growth engine, and they're consuming they're consuming the resources at a very, very dangerous pace. You know all this, right? You know China is about to become the biggest consumer of this world in the next 2 years. China will surpass America. These are strange facts. Are all of you understanding the importance of ecological footprint? Can you think about that in exam paper? Can you justify that in exam paper? So is everyone clear on the ecological footprints and environmental footprints? Can you think about how businesses are making an impact on the environment, and how we or you are making an impact on the environment, and our daily lives and our daily consumptions and our daily lives, how they are making an impact on the planet? So is everyone clear about ecological and environmental footprints? Yes or no? Is each one of you clear on the ecological and environmental footprint? And crystal clear, right? There is no element of doubt on understanding your ecological footprints and environmental footprints, and have these videos really contributed to your knowledge here? Okay, let's move further. Environmental management systems. How can we improve ourselves? We have discussed about the problems. Now let's discuss about the solutions. How can a company which is normative brings an environmental management system through which they can reduce their footprints? Now, please remember that these environmental management systems will only be in place by the companies who are normative, because the normative companies are concerned about reducing the environmental damage. They want the environmental damage to reduce. And how will they reduce the environmental damage? By bringing into account the systems. They want systems connecting with environment. And you've seen that in KLM and PNG. They had proper teams, they had proper systems, because they were very much concerned about reducing their impacts. So you saw KLM, right? They had systems. You saw PNG, they had systems, because these systems will only be taken by the normative company, because these systems will help reduce the footprints. Two systems. One is Emaas, one is ISO 14000. So there are two systems. The ISO is a global system, right? Is a global environmental management system, and Emaas is a system confined to the European Union. Okay, let me give you an understanding before I take on my presentation. Slide number 44. On the slide 44, we are discussing about the environmental management system. And in terms of the environmental management systems, these are systems to improve the business footprints, or these are the systems to improve the business impact on environment. Now, which companies will have these systems to improve their business footprints or impact on the environment? Obviously, the businesses known as normative business, because the instrumental business will think this is a cost. Now, please remember, these systems, which we are saying the environmental systems, there are two types of environmental systems. Number one, the ISO 14000. This is a global system. This is a global system which can be used, which can or is being used globally by many countries. And the Emaas is just a system confined to the European Union. You all know the European Union, right? This is something confined to the European Union. So the countries in the EU uses this system. So one is a global system, right, which can be used across the world if the company is really serious about reducing their environmental footprint. And one is a European system, which can be used by the European Union countries, in terms of reducing their environmental footprint. Now let's basically see what an ISO 14000 is. Just wait for another 1 minute. We are starting first with ISO 14000, which is the environmental management system, and it will be captured within the recording because this is a 4 minutes and 40 seconds video, which will really give you an insight into the ISO 14000, the environmental management system. You can make notes of this while you are listening to this video, or when you get the recording, you can make notes of this. But this is a 4 minute video, which will really give you a good insight of the ISO 14000. And please, I'll play the video and I'll ask you for the clarity of the voice, and then we'll continue the video, right? So let's see whether you can listen to this video carefully.
ISO 14001. Hello, I'm Terry McKay, and
Is the voice clear to everyone of this video? Is this voice on the lower side? Can you check the speakers at your end on your devices, whether you're using a smartphone or a laptop? Can you just check the system's voice quality at your end? Because at my end it's the maximum 100%. If you can listen to my lecture voice, then you should listen to this video quality as well. So can all of you increase the video volumes at your end? Majestwari, you are listening it, right? You're listening it clearly. Okay, let's replay and ask you, and again I'll play that in full.
well-reputed international standard for environmental management systems, ENS, and the benefits of conformance or certification.
Was that clear now to everyone? Omar Kaleem, Modi Thomas, is that clear? Okay, Kim is saying I'm using the headphones and it's clear, so other can also use the headphones. Sarah Zulfikar, can you use the headphones? Okay, Moody is saying that's fine. Annalisa is saying that's fine. Umar is saying that's fine. Majaswari is saying that's fine. Sarah, is there still a problem at your end? Can you increase the laptop volume or the smartphone volume? Or can you just plug in the earphones if you're using the smartphone? Okay, let's play that, and you will be getting the recording, right? So in the recording you can hear that carefully, but just see what Terry McKen, who is a good speaker on environmental management system, is telling you about the ISO 14000. Okay, let's start from the start.
What is ISO 14001? Hello, I'm Terry McKay, and I'm here to tell you about this well-reputed international standard for environmental management systems, EMS, and the benefits of conformance or certification. In a nutshell, ISO 14001 specifies the requirements for any organization, I stress any organization, to be able to claim that they have an environmental management system, or EMS, that conforms to standards specified by the globally recognized International Organization for Standards, ISO. The 2015 revision of the standard has a high-level structure almost identical to ISO 9001:2015 for quality management, which makes it easy and desirable to integrate environmental and quality policies, objectives, and processes into one management system. What are the benefits to conformance or certification to the ISO 14001:2015 standard? Here are 9 or 10 benefits in no particular order. An organization can increase its control over its impact on the environment through responsible corporate stewardship.
corporate image and credibility and branding will be enhanced by the public assertion of conformance to ISO 14001:2015, or better still, certification of conformance by an accredited third-party certification body. Customer satisfaction within the supply chain will be increased through greater confidence in the organization's environmental management. Legal and regulatory awareness is enhanced throughout the organization, and the risk of non-compliance with environmental laws and regulations is reduced. As a matter of policy, an organization regularly seeks to identify new opportunities for cost savings through efficiencies, for example, energy and water, raw material, and waste disposal. Formally identifying and dealing with risk enhances the organization's physical and financial protection against environmental mishaps. Top management can effectively address its risks and opportunities by integrating environmental management into the organization's business processes, strategic direction, and decision-making, aligning them with other business priorities and incorporating environmental governance into its overall management system. By combining with ISO 9001, there is increased management control through a single, integrated, and holistic quality and environmental management system. There is increased staff awareness and involvement in care of the environment. Last, but definitely not least, the organization contributes to a better environment locally, regionally, and globally. I'm Terry McCann. My company is TCMC Quality Management Services. If you have any question,
Okay, are all of you clear on the ISO 14001 Environmental Management System presentation, which was given by Terry McCain, and he was very clear about what benefits an organization get from adopting an environmental management system. I hope when you listen to this lecture over a recording, you can note down the benefits very carefully, because those benefits includes improvement in your supply chain. Those benefits includes your corporate image building. Those benefit includes your risk minimization, because the risk of any environmental mishaps can go down, and so on and so forth. And this is a very important system, right? The organizations who are very much concerned about their environmental impacts, the organizations who are very much concerned about their environmental implications will really work on a system like such, because they believe that through this system they can not just improve their reputation, or they cannot just reduce the mishaps, they can also bring down their footprints. Now let's see what I have some on my slides for ISO 14000. For me, ISO 14000 is this. The ISO 14000 is an environmental management standards which helps organization. Now, the focus of Terry McCain was also on the benefits, and my focus here is also on it helps organization. So if any organization adopts or takes the ISO 14000 into their organizational systems, what benefits will they be getting? Number one, it minimizes how their operations negatively affects the environment. So what's the first benefit? It will help them minimize how their operations negatively affects the environment. That's very important, right? And that's the reason why they want to have the system in place, because they want to reduce their environmental footprint. They want to reduce their environmental footprints. Number two, comply with applicable laws. That was exactly what Terry McCain was saying, legal and regulatory. You will be complying with applicable laws which relates with what? Laws which relates with environment. Your company will not be penalized. Your company will not be fined. You will have a better reputation. You will have a better reputation as a company. By complying with laws, you will minimize the mishaps. You will minimize the mishaps, the environmental mishaps, which can be very damaging to your reputation. And number three, a regular improvement of above. Each year I need to show improvement. I'm not just minimizing for 1 year. My minimization has to be long term. I have to set my goals right. I have to set my 2020 goals. I need to set my 2025 goals. I need to set my goals right for minimizations. I need to see the regular improvement of compliance every year, and I need to see the regular improvement of minimizations every year. Is that clear to everyone on ISO 14000? Is everyone clear that this is a system which will be adopted only when you are serious about environment? This is a system which will only be adopted by the normative companies. Is that true to everyone? Are you understanding that this system will be taken by every company? No, the system will be taken only by the normative companies. And will this system really helps you? Yes. And can you get the benefits of these systems by looking at the recording again and noting down what Terry McCain was telling you about ISO 14000? So was it an effective session today? The session started from sustainability today, right? And we focused on sustainability. We saw some videos on sustainability focusing on Procter Gamble and KLM, and we went across what are weak sustainabilities and strong sustainabilities. Then we had a discussion on the ecological footprint, which is the human demand, and we had a word on an environmental footprint, which is basically the demand of the business. I shown you a video on the ecological footprint, that how our lifestyles are impacting the planet. And then finally we came down with systems, how we can have systems in place to improve upon the footprints. And I shown you a video from a renowned writer, Terry McCain, who informed you about the benefits of the environmental management system. So I'll be waiting for your feedback on the session today, which is my 4th session now with all of you on the strategic business leader. And I hope you're getting to understand me through these 4 lectures. And I hope you're getting some clear mindset of the tutor in terms of delivering the SBL paper. Because in these 4 classes, at least I have understood most of you who are in part of the live classes. At least I got to know your names, and I can recall your names on the fingertips now that all of you are part of my live classes. It was good interacting with all of you again today. And yes, Modi, I'll be sending an activity on Mendelometrics today after the end of the class, as I committed yesterday. And so you need not to give me a reminder of my promises. Normally, sometime because you are in the workload, so the promises takes 24 hours to materialize. So thank you for that anyways. But I hope you had a nice session today, all of you, and you had an effective learning on sustainability and the environmental management systems and the footprints. And the more important thing is, I hope you're getting to know me well in terms of the strategic business leadership classes. So I'll be waiting for your feedback on the WhatsApp group, and I'll be sharing the Word file with you immediately, and I'll be sharing the recordings after 3 to 4 hours for the lecture 4. And Modi, I'll be putting the Mendelometrics case with you as I promised yesterday. Okay, have a nice day, all of you, and have a nice day. I'll see you then on Friday and Saturday. So my 2 classes, right? And you will be having sessions with Mr. Ijaz on Monday and Wednesday. Okay, so that is it for the session today. I hope you had an effective one. It's time to sign off and say you goodbye and Allah Hafiz. And I'll see you tomorrow. I'll see you then on the Friday.